Hello, my name is Elder Mike. Welcome to the Popish plot we hope you like.
Hello, my name is Elder Nate. As you can see, it's just this boy's and not my mate. Hello.
It's Wordy Wednesday, and today's plot is the Book of Mormon, not the musical.
That's good. Yeah, that's good because I gotta say this whole Mormon missionary getup is kind of.
Well, you'll note we only went so far to maintain the bit.
Yes, we aren't clear cut enough to be Mormon missionaries.
Well, and we're going to discover as we go along other reasons why you and I would make terrible missionaries for the LDS Church.
All right, fair enough. So
the title and our opening bit obviously references the Broadway musical The Book of Mormon. Now here I do sympathize with the Mormons, because while there are some funny bits in the musical, it is, as you would expect from the creators of South Park, pretty mean-spirited.
Well, they really don't know how to be nice to anybody. I mean,
at least they're consistent.
It really is a testament to their fairness in that they are completely unfair to everyone.
So, as a Catholic, someone who is often discriminated against, I do sympathize with the Mormons that they are the objects of so much fun. And even though we're dressed as missionaries, it's our intention to laugh with you, not at you. Because I've had many Mormon friends. I have a very good friend. He's been a friend for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Saw him and his family this summer. We always have a great time. He's a fan of the show.
Excellent.
And I've known other Mormons who, to greater or lesser degrees, lived out or didn't live out their faith. I've known Mormons who drank coffee. I've known Mormons who drank beer. Mormons who didn't go to temple very often.
In fairness, we've known Catholics who don't go to Mass as often as they should.
And we've known a lot of Catholics who drink beer.
Yeah, well,
it's a great religion we have.
It's fantastic.
So, in the summer of 2017, and you'll remember this.
I do.
I was engaged in several discussions with a pair of Mormon missionaries, who I refer to as Elders Tango and Cash.
Was their names really Tango and Cash?
No, but one of them started with a T, so the code for that is Tango, and the other started with a C, so the code for that would be Charlie, but Tango and C, I couldn't resist the reference to the old terrible action movie.
That's fair, and I like that action movie.
That's another video. So, I admit I was conducting a bit of a ruse, because as they were trying to convert me, having given me the Book of Mormon, I was trying to convert them to the fullness of the Catholic faith.
Now, Mormons claim that they venerate the Bible, but as I understand it, the chief pitch of this is simply to insist that people read the Book of Mormon, or is it subtitled, Another Testament of Jesus Christ? And that wherever the Bible and the Book of Mormon disagree, they argue that since this is the subsequent revelation, that therefore this is the superseding revelation, and this one is, and the Bible is clearly in error.
Yes, the Bible is great and it's to be loved, but it can't be relied on the same as the Book of Mormon, because due to the great apostasy, it was twisted and changed not long after the apostolic age.
Oh yeah, I remember that, the great apostasy. When did that happen again?
Well, the Mormons can't be specific, in part because they have absolutely zero documentary evidence. But they insist that it happened earlier than, say, most of our Protestant brethren would.
Okay,
The Christian faith, which they say was the Mormon faith from the beginning, started to go awry in the 1st century.
So, during the age of the apostles, the people who were charged with setting up and getting running the church, the whole thing just kind of went off the rails.
Sort of yes, sort of no, because again, there's absolutely no documentary evidence.
I'm just saying this is their argument.
That's the logical inference. They're very sketchy on the details, since again, no documentary evidence. So they insist that the New Testament is unreliable.
Whereas the New Testament has tons of extraordinary documentary evidence. I mean, there are thousands of copies of this throughout the ages and across great tracts of space, wherein it would be relatively impossible, if not at least difficult, for any cabal of people to have gone and rewritten portions of it and not had significant variations across copies of the text.
And yet, across all those manuscripts, you have incredible consistency, especially given that they were all hand-copied.
And at the same time, there are many other books of a similar antiquity which do not possess anywhere near as much testament to the validity of even how true they are in wording, let alone in spirit.
Correct. Whereas, by contrast, the Book of Mormon is less than 200 years old.
Okay.
And it was supposedly revealed in New York. Now, we have a lot of documentary evidence for things that happened in the state of New York in the 1820s and the 1830s.
Yeah.
This is not the Dark Ages.
No.
This is not long ago and far away.
No.
And yet, the essential claim of the Latter-day Saints is that an angel appeared to Joseph Smith,
Okay.
revealed to him ancient gold plates that had been buried hundreds of years before,
Okay.
which he dug up. He translated with the age of a seer stone, which was a common folk superstition around at the time.
I've heard tons about seer stones. Those things are real.
And so then he translated it onto paper, and the plates then were returned to the angel or subsequently disappeared.
Okay.
Now, the interesting thing is, again, we're talking less than 200 years ago, and yet the Mormons themselves freely admit they lost some of them.
So, I just want to get this straight.
Mm-hmm.
They were given another testament of Jesus Christ,
So it is claimed.
and they misplaced part of it.
Yes.
And their claim is that this is unreliable compared to that.
Yes. The only thing I wonder about is why they don't just put some blank pages in the middle to represent the ones that they lost.
Yeah.
Now, the Mormons understand that they are making an extraordinary claim for which they provide no documentary evidence.
Okay.
But they have witnesses.
All right.
Tango and Cash made a big deal. They'd ask me every time, have you read the Book of Mormon? And they would point out that in the beginning, there's the testimony of 3 witnesses, followed by, lower on the same page, the testimony of 8 witnesses. And this is to lay to rest any doubts that the golden plates were in fact seen, even though they've never been able to produce them for anyone else.
Okay. And these witnesses, I'm sure they are all upstanding gentlemen or ladies of noteworthy character.
All men, of course.
Oh man, what was I thinking? And they were all of like noteworthy character and reputation.
Okay. All 3 of the 3 witnesses did apostatize. Sure. And less than 5 minutes of research indicates that.
All 3 of them.
Yeah, all 3. Of the 3 witnesses, yeah, it was all 3. David Whitmer, he claimed that God told him to leave the LDS Church and to go found his own.
Okay.
He was never reconciled to the main LDS Church, but towards the end of his life, he did reaffirm that, not with his physical eyes, but with his spiritual eyes, he had seen the gold plates, which is why I guess he thought that he should be the prophet instead of Brigham Young. Oliver Cowdery was excommunicated, so he didn't leave of his own accord. They kicked him out.
Okay.
After which he became a Methodist, but after a decade outside of the church, he was rebaptized and welcomed back in.
Okay.
And then, now this guy's my favorite, Martin Harris, because he seemed to be running into a brand new prophet, which is the head of the LDS Church, every couple of years. After Joseph Smith, he followed a guy named Strang. Then for a while, he followed David Whitmer.
Well, of course, yeah.
And then several others, until finally, in 1859, he denounced the entire Latter-day Saints movement as Latter-day Devils.
So he's out. He got himself. He broke free of this whole thing.
Well, no. Even though he denounced them as Latter-day Devils, he was reconciled and rebaptized in 1870, which I guess makes his testimony reliable again.
So, just to summarize, we've got an apostate slash schismatic,
Mm-hmm.
another apostate,
Mm-hmm.
and another apostate schismatic.
And because of their testimony, you can count on the Book of Mormon.
Yeah, and I couldn't help but notice amongst these 11 witnesses,
Mhm.
a whole lot of those last names would suggest to me that they all kind of had a horse in the race.
Of these 11 men, only one is not a member of either the Smith or Whitmer families, yes.
Okay, all right, so I gotta say, these 3 witnesses aren't looking all that good. I mean, this book right here,
Mhm.
the things that transpired in it, there's 12 witnesses for it. And every single one of them went to their graves
Mm-hmm.
refusing to renounce. Most of them under the penalty of a torturous and lengthy death.
Yep.
Okay. So, there is this great apostasy thing, which it is a common trope among certain Protestant groups that they all tend to use the notion that somewhere along the line the church went wrong in order to justify their having broken from the church.
And somehow that guy alone can set things right.
Yeah, and they use it to claim that their particular set of teachings are authentic, but it's kind of problematic given what Jesus said in the book of Matthew. And I say to thee, thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it.
Except in the Mormon reading, apparently the gates of hell did
Yes.
until the 1830s.
Right. But then we go a little bit further, and just over here before the end,
Mm-hmm.
all power in heaven and on earth has been given to me.
Mm-hmm.
Go therefore and make disciples in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you all days, even unto the end of the world. Now,
Except apparently for those 1800 years.
right. But for those 1800 years, I mean, there's a lot of time in there. The way that they're making it sound is a whole... It sounds almost like as if they're making Jesus be either inaccurate or, in fact, a liar, in that there's a whole lot of room in there for gates of hell and Jesus not being around.
I have no answer because, yeah, it seems an awful lot like that. But what really strikes me, though, is it says right on the cover, another testament of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Which struck a familiar note with me. So I just found here in Paul's letter to the Galatians in the 1st chapter, I marvel that you are so quickly deserting him, meaning Paul, who called you to the grace of Christ, changing to another gospel, which is not another gospel, except in this respect, that there are some who trouble you and wish to pervert the gospel of Christ. But even if we, or an angel from heaven, should preach a gospel to you other than the one which we have preached to you, let him be anathema. As we have said before, so I now say again, if anyone preach a gospel to you other than that which you have received, let him be anathema.
Okay.
Now, I freely admit, those are some pretty harsh words to say against the Book of Mormon. But we genuinely hope that we've put together this episode from a place of charity. Because just as the Lord loved the Pharisees when he was warning them against their fallen ways, so to our Mormon brothers and sisters, this book into which you've placed so much faith, it's not what you think it is.
Yes, we do not wish to condemn you, but we do wish to condemn the false teaching that has led you so far astray.
Like St. Paul, to remove the scales from your eyes, as it were.
Yes, in the hopes that you too might be reconciled with the church.
The church that Christ founded.
And has protected.
All days.
Especially during those 1800 years when he may not have been, according to some individuals.
So, we invite all of our viewers, but especially any Mormons who happen to be watching, to comment below.
Yes.
You know, what have we got right? What have we got wrong? What would you like to know more?
Yeah. And in the Book of Mormon, not the musical, Part 2, we will be turning our attention away from the actual Book of Mormon, the problems with the writing specifically, and looking more at the teachings that come from that writing, the theological aspects of the LDS faith, which...
It's going to be an interesting ride.
I'm looking forward to it.
So
what have I signed on for?
So we invite you to like this episode, to subscribe to our channel, to ding that little church bell so that you'll be notified when the next plot is uploaded.
And until next time, remember to always live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.